Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to Dream Room. You do not need a large backyard, expensive furniture, or a professional landscape crew to create a beautiful garden. In many cases, one overlooked corner and a few simple Dollar Tree items are enough to change the entire feeling of your outdoor space. This video is for you if your patio is narrow, your balcony is crowded, or your small backyard feels unfinished. It is also for those who save old baskets, jars, fabric, bamboo, wooden crates, and useful household items, because you know they may have a second life. Perhaps you enjoy decorating your bedroom, arranging a peaceful home office, refreshing a small bathroom, or creating a comfortable place to sit outside with a cup of tea. You prefer natural textures, familiar tools, and projects that do not require heavy lifting, complicated machines, or a large budget. Today, I will show you 8 Dollar Tree garden hacks that are practical, attractive, and easy to adapt. We will create privacy without building a fence, add plants without losing floor space, make gardening more comfortable, reduce daily watering, and turn inexpensive solar lights into a professional-looking evening display. Each idea can work in a rented home, a compact patio, a balcony, or a narrow garden beside the house. Most projects can be completed in less than one afternoon, using materials that are lightweight, affordable, and easy to store. And the first transformation solves one of the biggest problems in small outdoor spaces: how to create privacy without making the garden feel dark or closed in. Before we begin, subscribe to Dream Room and turn on notifications for more simple ideas for small gardens, bedrooms, home offices, patios, and beautiful spaces made from affordable, natural, and easy-to-find materials. 1. Turn woven placemats into a movable privacy screen. The fastest way to make a small garden feel more comfortable is not to add more furniture. It is to block the one view that makes you feel exposed. Perhaps a neighbor's window faces your patio. Maybe people can see your favorite chair from the sidewalk, shared driveway, or apartment balcony. A permanent fence could cost hundreds of dollars, require permission, and make a narrow space feel even smaller. Instead, look for woven or bamboo-style placemats at Dollar Tree. Place 4 to 6 mats beside one another and connect their edges with small zip ties or natural jute cord. Attach the finished panel to 2 lightweight garden stakes. For a freestanding design, position each stake inside a deep planter with several inches of gravel at the bottom. The gravel adds stability. Soil placed above it allows you to grow lavender, ornamental grass, compact herbs, or trailing flowers around the base. Do not try to block the entire garden. Measure the exact sightline from your chair first. A screen only 3 to 4 feet wide may be enough to hide a doorway, neighboring window, or busy path, while leaving the rest of the space open to sunlight and fresh air. For a softer appearance, arrange the placemats in a slightly staggered pattern instead of creating one rigid rectangle. Add a small solar light, a hanging terracotta pot, or a narrow shelf for 2 herbs. This is especially useful for renters because it requires no drilling. You can move it beside a dining table during lunch, place it behind a reading chair in the evening, or store it against a wall when more space is needed. With a few affordable materials, an uncomfortable exposed corner becomes a private garden retreat, and the next idea will help us cover the bare wall beside it with living color. 1. Create a layered living wall with stackable baskets. Once your seating area feels more private, the next step is to bring life to the empty wall beside it. In a small garden, floor space disappears quickly. Pots crowd the walkway, chairs become difficult to move, and the fence still looks plain. The solution is to grow upward. Choose several lightweight stackable baskets from Dollar Tree. Line each one with coconut fiber, burlap, or breathable landscape fabric so the soil stays inside while excess water can escape. Fill the baskets with a light potting mix rather than heavy garden soil. This reduces the weight and makes the display safer to attach to a fence, wooden panel, balcony railing, or sturdy outdoor wall. Do not arrange every basket in one straight line. Place them at different heights and leave small spaces between each level. This staggered layout creates depth and makes a narrow patio appear wider. Use the upper baskets for rosemary, thyme, and flowers that prefer drier soil. Plant parsley, lettuce, coleus, or compact herbs in the middle. Place moisture-loving plants and trailing varieties near the bottom, where water from the upper levels may naturally collect. Mix upright plants with softer cascading ones. A tall rosemary plant beside trailing petunias or strawberries creates movement and prevents the wall from looking flat. This system is especially helpful if your patio already contains a table, several chairs, or large containers. It adds more plants without taking away valuable walking space. The baskets can also hide an unattractive wooden fence, utility box, bare balcony rail, or the dull wall outside a bedroom or home office window. With only a few containers, an empty vertical surface becomes a living display of color, texture, fragrance, and useful herbs. Now that the wall is growing beautifully, the next idea will place fresh kitchen herbs exactly where you can reach them. 3. Turn a shower caddy into a kitchen door herb garden. Now that the empty wall has become a living display, let us make the garden more useful by bringing fresh herbs closer to the kitchen. Many people grow basil, parsley, or thyme in separate pots, then forget to harvest them because the containers are scattered across the patio. A shower caddy solves that problem by keeping several herbs together in one compact, easy-to-reach station. Choose a metal or sturdy plastic caddy with 2 or 3 tiers. Secure it to a fence, balcony railing, wooden panel, or wall near the kitchen door. Make sure the support is strong enough to hold the containers after watering. Place small pots or lightweight plastic cups inside each tier. Every container must have drainage holes so water cannot collect around the roots. Arrange the herbs according to their moisture needs. Place rosemary and thyme on the upper level, where the soil dries more quickly. Use the middle tier for basil, parsley, or chives. Put mint on the lowest level because it usually prefers more consistent moisture and should remain in its own container to prevent it from spreading. This arrangement also allows excess water from the upper pots to drain downward, but avoid letting one container sit directly beneath a constant stream of water. Add simple wooden clothespins as plant labels. Write the herb names clearly, then clip them to the rims of the containers. Hang a small pair of kitchen scissors from one of the caddy hooks so fresh leaves can be harvested without searching for tools. Because the herbs are raised above the ground, there is less bending and more air circulation around the plants. The result is a neat, fragrant herb station that saves floor space and places fresh ingredients only a few steps from the kitchen. Next, we will move above eye level and turn ordinary metal colanders into a striking hanging garden. 4. Turn metal colanders into hanging garden chandeliers. After organizing herbs near the kitchen, the next transformation uses the space above your head. Small patios and balconies often feel crowded because every plant sits on the floor. Metal colanders offer a simple way to add flowers and greenery without taking away walking space. Their built-in holes already provide excellent drainage. Line each colander with coconut fiber, natural moss, burlap, or another breathable fabric so the soil stays in place while excess water escapes. Add a lightweight potting mix rather than dense garden soil. Wet soil becomes much heavier, so avoid filling the container completely to the top. Choose plants that suit the amount of sunlight in the location. Trailing petunias, oregano, strawberries, compact lettuce, and small herbs can all work well. Let some plants spill gently over the sides to soften the metal shape. Use strong chains, rope, or secure hanging hooks. Test every support carefully before placing the planter above a chair, walkway, or dining table. Hang 2 or 3 colanders at different heights beneath a porch, pergola, balcony ceiling, or sturdy tree branch. This layered arrangement creates the appearance of a garden chandelier and draws the eye upward. For a coordinated look, repeat the same metal finish or use one flower color throughout the display. If you prefer a warmer, rustic style, wrap the handles with jute twine and combine the colanders with terracotta pots or reclaimed wooden furniture. This idea is especially effective in a narrow outdoor space because it adds movement, texture, and color without making the ground feel crowded. An ordinary kitchen item now becomes a decorative hanging garden. In the next section, we will move back to ground level and make gardening more comfortable for your knees. Create a comfortable mobile gardening station with foam floor tiles. After adding plants above eye level, it is time to make the garden more comfortable at ground level. Many gardeners begin by pulling only a few weeds, then realize they have been kneeling on hard concrete or compacted soil for 20 minutes. Standing up can become the most difficult part, especially when the knees, hips, or lower back feel stiff. Dollar Tree foam floor tiles offer a simple solution. Connect 2 or 3 interlocking tiles to create a larger working surface. Use one section beneath your knees. Keep hand tools, gloves, and seed packets on the second section so they stay clean and dry. The third section can hold seedlings or freshly harvested vegetables. Because the tiles separate easily, you can change the shape of the station to fit your space. Arrange them in a straight line beside a raised bed, create an L shape around patio containers, or use a single tile when checking one small pot. The waterproof foam provides cushioning without absorbing wet soil. It also protects clothing when you are working on a damp patio or beside a recently watered garden bed. For easy carrying, thread a short piece of jute cord through the edge of one tile and tie it securely. This creates a lightweight handle, allowing you to move the station without carrying several loose pieces. When the work is finished, rinse the tiles with a garden hose and allow them to dry completely. Separate them and store them behind a shed door, beneath a bench, or inside a narrow closet. A garden should support the person caring for it. By reducing pressure on the knees and keeping supplies within reach, this simple workstation makes everyday planting and maintenance safer and more enjoyable. Next, we will make container care easier by creating a planter that stores its own water. Wicks. Build a self-watering planter with 2 plastic bins. After making gardening more comfortable, the next step is to reduce one of the most repetitive jobs: daily watering. Containers on balconies and sunny patios can dry out quickly. A tomato or basil plant may look healthy in the morning, then begin to wilt by late afternoon. This simple system stores water beneath the soil and releases it gradually. Choose 2 plastic bins that fit inside one another, while leaving a small space at the bottom. The outer bin will become the water reservoir. The inner bin will hold the soil and plant. Drill several drainage openings in the bottom of the inner container. Create one small section that reaches into the reservoir and fill it firmly with potting mix. This becomes the wick that draws moisture upward. Place the inner bin inside the outer one. Add an overflow hole to the side of the outer container, slightly below the base of the soil container. This opening allows extra water to escape after heavy rain and prevents the roots from remaining submerged. A narrow tube can be placed through the soil into the reservoir, making it easier to refill without lifting the planter or disturbing the plant. Fill the upper container with lightweight potting mix and plant tomatoes, peppers, basil, or thirsty flowers. The soil will absorb water gradually through capillary action, giving the roots more consistent moisture. This system is useful for busy homeowners, occasional travelers, and gardeners who find carrying a heavy watering can every morning uncomfortable. To improve its appearance, place the plastic planter inside a decorative basket, wooden crate, or jute-covered container. With one small reservoir, plants are protected from repeated cycles of being too wet and then too dry. Next, we will use a pool noodle to make tools and garden corners safer. Way. Chill 7. Use pool noodles to make the garden safer. Once your containers can manage water more consistently, look around the garden for small hazards that make everyday work uncomfortable. Sharp tool edges, exposed stakes, hard handles, and raised bed corners are easy to overlook. A single Dollar Tree pool noodle can help protect several of these areas. Begin with your garden tools. Cut the noodle into short sections about 4 to 6 inches long. Slice each section along one side, then slide it over the blade of a shovel, hoe, or pruning tool before placing it in storage. The foam keeps sharp edges covered, prevents tools from scratching one another, and makes it safer to reach into a crowded shed. Always remove the foam cover completely before using the tool. Longer sections can be placed around uncomfortable handles. The soft surface creates a wider grip and reduces pressure on the hands during weeding, digging, or raking. This is especially useful for gardeners who experience stiffness or reduced grip strength. Pool noodles can also cover exposed metal stakes, low fence posts, raised bed corners, and other hard edges that are easy to bump into. Their bright surface makes these hazards easier to see in dim morning or evening light. Another useful placement is around the edge of a large container or garden bed. A curved piece of foam can guide the hose around the corner, and prevent it from dragging across young flowers. One inexpensive noodle can protect several tools and problem areas throughout a small garden. These changes may not be decorative, but they make the space calmer, safer, and easier to maintain. With the practical work complete, the final idea will transform the entire garden after sunset using simple solar pathway lights. Paired. Create professional-looking layers with solar pathway lights. Now that the garden is safer and easier to maintain, the final transformation begins after sunset. Inexpensive solar lights often look ordinary because they are installed in one straight, evenly spaced row. A more professional effect comes from using different heights, careful placement, and gentle shadows. Begin with 3 lighting levels. Place several lights low beside a pathway, container edge, or seating area. Position medium-height lights among flowers and ornamental grasses. Raise a few lights inside large planters so they illuminate leaves from below. Do not spread every light evenly across the garden. Arrange them in groups of 2 or 3. These small clusters feel more natural and create brighter focal points without making the space look crowded. Use the lights to highlight features that already deserve attention. Place one near the woven privacy screen, another beneath the hanging colanders, and a small group beside the layered basket wall. A textured tree trunk, decorative water bowl, garden sculpture, or favorite chair can also become a focal point after dark. For a softer glow, position some lights behind leaves instead of directly in front of them. The foliage filters the light and creates shadows that add depth. This simple technique can make a narrow patio appear to continue beyond its real boundary. Allow the solar panels to receive several hours of direct sunlight during the day. After dark, walk slowly through the garden and observe the effect from the main doorway and seating area. Move each light a few inches when necessary. A small adjustment can change a harsh bright spot into a calm pool of light. The garden that felt ordinary during the day now becomes a peaceful evening retreat, a place to drink tea, read, talk with family, and enjoy the space you have created. Conclusion: small budget, smart ideas, beautiful results. A beautiful garden is not created by spending the most money. It is created by noticing what your space truly needs and choosing simple solutions that make daily life easier. The empty fence now offers more privacy. The bare wall holds herbs, flowers, and useful plants. Hanging colanders bring color above eye level, while the foam workstation protects your knees during everyday garden care. The self-watering planter reduces the need to carry water each morning. Pool noodles make tools and hard corners safer. And when evening arrives, carefully placed solar lights turn the entire space into a calm and welcoming retreat. None of these changes requires a large backyard, expensive machinery, or professional construction. They can work on a narrow patio, a rented balcony, a small side yard, or the quiet corner outside a bedroom or home office. Begin with one problem. Perhaps your seating area feels exposed. Maybe your containers dry out too quickly, your fence looks empty, or your tools are difficult to use. Choose the idea that solves that problem first. Then improve the space slowly. A few lightweight materials, natural textures, useful household objects, and one afternoon of careful work can completely change how a garden looks and feels. The goal is not to copy a perfect magazine photograph. It is to create a space that feels comfortable, personal, safe, and easy for you to enjoy. Now tell us in the comments, which of these $8 tree garden hacks will you try first, and what small space are you currently transforming? If these ideas helped you, please like this video, subscribe to Dream Room, and turn on notifications. We will continue sharing affordable ways to decorate small gardens, patios, bedrooms, bathrooms, and home offices using practical materials and simple ideas anyone can follow. Thank you for spending this time with us. Until next time, keep creating beauty from the space and materials you already have.